And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, for everyone that hasn't joined the other classes, I'll just share my screen here. Okay, for everyone that hasn't joined the other classes, this is kind of what you missed out on. Once again, all the videos are recorded. They will start being uploaded starting tomorrow. So, our first class was on market basics. Excuse me. Okay, the first class was on market basics that just went over all the asset types, stocks, options, equities, futures. We also talked about retail traders, how we don't affect the market, and then we also went over order types. Okay. The class after that, we had gone over picking a broker and then actually setting up your demo account. I hope everybody did their homework, or else you are going to be pretty far behind, okay? Especially after the next class, which will be Monday. Okay, and then yesterday we went over candlesticks, we went into psychology, and then today in live trading, we actually went ahead and applied that live. So everybody that came to the class yesterday, you saw a live example of how we took all those strategies and stuff like that with candlesticks, and we applied that into the live market. Okay, and then once again at the end we'll do a trading recap, and then today we're going to be going over the market structure and then trend analysis. So this is going to be broken down into a few components. Yesterday everybody was here for about hour and a half. Today it might be a little bit longer, might be shorter depending on how fast we get through things and you guys have questions. Okay, we're going to be talking about identifying the swing highs, the swing lows, okay, pivot points, things like that. We're actually been looking at the different phases of the market. Okay. What this includes, once again, accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, all of those things. Then we're going to look into trend lines. A lot of you guys want to learn trend lines. You want to know how to draw them. It's kind of an overlooked thing. We're going to go into how exactly you draw them. And then we're going to be looking at structural breaks, how we can see setups, find them, stuff like that. And then we're going to start applying that with time frame analysis. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. And then tomorrow's class will, or not tomorrow, sorry, I won't be available tomorrow. Monday's class will be on support resistance, and you guys will start getting homework. If you don't do the homework, you will not get accepted into the next class. Okay, so excuse me again. Can everybody see my screen here on this chart? Okay.
Yep.
First thing I'm gonna ask you guys, okay, what time frame are we on? Okay.
Hours.
Every single class, what we're doing is we're applying what we learned the class before, and then we're just applying that and we're adding another layer of complexity. Okay. So first thing we're going to start talking about before anything else, before we get into lower lows, lower highs, market structure, all that is we need to understand market cycle. Okay. Market cycle. What is market cycle? Market cycle is how the market actually moves. Okay. If you think that the market is just moving because it wants to, it's not how it works. Okay. Depending on the needs of people, remember, these are real live people that are trading the market. They move the market based off of what they need. Okay. Whatever the consumer needs. Remember, it's a whole auction, it's a whole marketplace. Okay. You're not going to go buy blankets in the summer. You're not gonna go buy something that you don't need in a certain given period of time. Same thing how the market works. Okay, here are a few phases that you want to know. Okay, first is accumulation, and I might butcher some of these spellings, so please do forgive me. But the first phase we have, number one, is accumulation. Okay, accumulation looks something like this right here. Okay, market isn't really, it doesn't really have a direction. It is just moving kind of sideways, but we are in a range. Okay, a range is just between one point to another. So what price will do, it'll just go tick tack, tick tack, tick tack, and it will look like it's chopping. Okay, this is called accumulation. Okay, so price, what price is doing once again, it is stabilizing in this zone. Okay, so that's what's happening. Usually, what happens at accumulation is funds are buying. Okay, a fund will take their biggest position, okay, first, and then they will gradually add rest of the positions later. What I mean by this is if we take a look at this example, a fund will add their first position somewhere over here, and then slowly they will scale into rest of their shares down here. Okay, so this phase right here, once again. is accumulation. Okay, which just means chop. Okay, the second phase is called either a uptrend, or we can call this a markup. Okay, this is when retail and other traders, other banks, stuff like that start entering in. That is from here all the way up to here. Okay, this is called the markup. Okay, after we have the markup, then we have distribution. Remember, okay, this right here is called distribution. Okay, so kind of follow me here. Let's go back to the psychology before we get into the last phase. Okay, we have accumulation. This is where funds are buying their shares. Okay, so they're buying before everybody else. We end up getting in while price is dropping. You guys have seen me do this with shares. Okay, this is called scaling in. Okay, so a fund won't just buy 100,000 shares at one price. They'll buy 100,000 shares and they'll bite them up into chunks. And that's why whenever we use softwares such as Cheddarflow, you guys see multiple different orders come in, but they have the same strike, same expiration. Everything is the same. Okay, they're biting those orders down into chunks because you cannot just put in $1 billion market buy. You're not going to get filled. And if you do, you're going to move the whole entire market. Okay, and then here at uptrend, okay, at uptrend, what ends up happening is people get a wind of this, people start catching up, and then people like us, the retail traders, we end up start entering the position. Okay, we end up fueling that fire. Then the hedge funds slowly start getting out. Okay, once again, this is called distribution because they're distributing. Okay, it's almost like we have this weight right here. There's a weight in the middle. Okay, if one person is bigger, then what's going to happen to the weight? It's going to fall to one side. Okay, same thing here. They're slowly getting out so that nobody knows. Okay, and by the time everybody gets out, we end up coming right back down. Okay, this phase that we have at the end, once again, it's either going to be a downtrend or it's going to be a mark down. Okay, so once again, let's kind of recap here. Accumulation, that's where funds are buying. Okay, you don't know that market is going to push up yet. It actually looks like it might come even lower. Okay. Then we have the uptrend where retail, everybody else ends up getting in. Then we have distribution where funds start getting out and we're kind of in this choppy zone. And then those people start selling. And then we have the downtrend or the markdown.
I don't know.
Yogesh, can you make sure you're muted, please?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So does everybody kind of understand what I'm talking about here as far as psychology and you kind of visualizing how the actual setup is going on? Okay, and if we draw this on a very simple chart, it looks like this. Okay, accumulation, okay, uptrend, okay, distribution, downtrend. Okay, and market will tend to follow this most of the time, but not every single time. Okay, that is something that you have to be aware about, and you have to kind of keep that in the back of your head is we're not going to get this every single day. It's not going to happen every single week. Okay, we're on a 4-hour time frame. Okay, but why is this important? Right, and that comes into today's lesson, which is market structure and trend analysis. Okay, if we just draw our levels and we use candlesticks, how do we know that it's not going to use a level and go back up, or it's not going to use a level that was up here and come back down? How do we know something like that? Right? How do we find the fair price of this stock? Right? And that comes down to the tools that we use. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is market structure. Okay, we just went over the different phases of the market cycle. Now we're going to take a look into this right here, and we're going to go into the actual structure. Okay, so let's take a look at the structure. And we're going to apply what we learned yesterday with candlesticks into the structure. Okay, markets have three types of structures. We have this that you guys have seen. Okay, this is a, once again, what is this called? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody unmute and tell me what is this called?
Distribution.
So So this is a downtrend. Whoever just said it, yes, downtrend. Okay. How do we know that something is at a downtrend? It can't just be going down. We cannot just, that is, does not give you a valid reason to call it a downtrend just because it's going down. Okay. Because price is going down here. Does it mean that we're at a downtrend? Okay. Price is going down here. Does it mean it's a downtrend? Does it mean we're at a downtrend here? No. Okay. The way that we find a downtrend trend is lower lows and lower highs. Okay. Lower, low, lower, high. Okay. And what this looks like on a perfect chart would be boom, boom, boom. Okay. But in trading, what that looks like is boom, goes back up, comes back down, goes back up, comes back down, goes back up, comes back down, goes back up, comes back down. Okay. It's not so clean, but okay. This is our starting point. Okay. This just made a lower low. Why is it lower low? Because this low is lower than this. Okay, then it makes a lower high. Okay, because if this is our high, this was our high before. Okay, so this just came back down. Okay, then we have another lower low. Why is this lower low? Because this low is lower than this low. Okay, this is a lower high. Why? Because it's lower than this last high. Okay, this proves to us, okay, that we are at a downtrend. Okay, so that's how you get your verification that something is going at a downtrend. Okay, now how do we find something that's in a uptrend? Okay, higher, high, higher, low. Okay, so it's complete opposite. If there's a H at the beginning, so higher high or higher low, then it is a uptrend. H equals uptrend. Okay, the L equals downtrend. That's the easiest way to remember it. It doesn't matter what the second number or the second letter is. The first letter will tell you if it's supposed to go higher or lower. Okay, so if we take a look at this example, okay, we're going to go over here somewhere. Okay, let's just take a look at this right here. Okay, what is market doing? Market goes up, comes back down, market goes up, comes back down, market goes up, comes back down, market goes up. Okay, if this is our starting point, okay, we have a higher high, higher low. Oops, higher low, higher high, higher low. Why? Because this high, this low is higher than this one. Okay, so that tells us that market is at a uptrend. Okay, and then the thing that nobody tells you is when we look at something like this, okay, this is the third thing that we're going to talk about, and this we just call chop. Okay, it doesn't matter what time frame you're trading on, you will eventually end up getting chop whatever stock you were trading. And this usually, when we look at the psychology aspect of it, this is just confusion. Okay, so it's either going to be confusion or we are going to have a fair price. Okay. Now, once again, there's no such thing as actual fair price, but people think that once we start chopping in a really tight zone, people end up thinking, okay, we're either at a really fair price, or people are very confused about what's happening and both sides are just trading it. Okay. If we're at a uptrend, then people know, okay, market's going to keep going higher. Okay. Now, you guys notice how market goes up and then comes back down again. Can somebody tell me why do you think that happens? Okay. If a market is going up, why does it come right back down again? Somebody tell me.
Like a profit taking.
Yes. Okay. We have to pay ourselves, and people have different needs, like we just talked about, right? Whenever we talked about market cycle, people need cash. No matter what you do, you need this thing in any business called cash flow. Okay. For you to have cash flow, if you go to a bank and you take stocks, most banks are not going to give you a loan or give you any money for that stock unless you liquidate it. Okay. Because trading is one of the most liquid, if not the most liquid, okay, investment that you can make, what ends up happening is whenever people think it hit a fair price, people are going to sell some of their shares. And if enough people sell it, we end up getting a pullback. Okay, so a pullback. Okay, and for those that don't know what a pullback is, this also goes into market structure, is anytime a price, okay, is keeping a hold of whatever structure it's in, but it comes down just a little bit. Okay, so pullbacks equal profit taking. Okay, does this make sense to everyone? Okay, now, once again, when we look at,
Yes, I have a question.
yes,
त्यो रियल टाइममा चाहिँ नि भाइ त्यो पुल ब्याक भन्ने चाहिँ कसरी बुझ्नु क्या पुल ब्याक र अब सेल भन्ने यो रियल टाइममा त थाहा हुँदैन नि त लाइक धेरै स्केरी नै अब हुन्छ नि त होइन लाइक हाउ डु वी
yes,
लाइक
great
नो या
question. Great question. So we are going to go into that in just a minute, but once again, what he's asking, in case anybody didn't understand, is if market pushes up and this is pulling back, how do I know this is not going to keep going down? Am I correct?
या या यु
Okay.
गॉट इट
Okay, great question. So, yes, he is right. We are going to go into that in a minute as well as I show you guys trend lines and things like that. But does everybody understand why we get pullbacks in the first place? Because for you to get really good at trading, you have to understand these basics of, okay, why do pullbacks happen in the first place? Because they're inevitable. Every stock is going to go through a pullback, it's going to go through distribution, it's going to go through all these different phases. Okay, I just hope everybody understands that. If you have any questions, please do ask before we move on. Okay, so we've identified, okay, let's just do a little recap here so I don't lose anyone. We've identified trend, we've identified market cycle, okay, and we've identified market structure, which is higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low. Okay, once again, it's going to look like this, or it's going to look like this, or we're going to get chopped. Okay, but one of these three is going to happen no matter what. Okay, so now let's kind of talk about, okay, if a stock is going up, how do I know that it's not going to come back down and just keep going down? That was probably the next question in case anybody didn't understand, because that is a vital key component. Okay, but before that, we have to understand, okay, we have to understand whenever we get pullbacks and we get this profit taking, okay, there's going to be a line. Okay, there's always going to be a pattern in the market, whether it be hedge funds, whether it be a lot of people, but fear and greed drive the market. Fear and greed. Okay, do you know what's stronger? Greed's always stronger than fear. Okay, that's just something that I have to put out there for you guys to understand. Okay, now before we even go into, okay, how do I know a pullback isn't just a pullback? Right? We really, really, really need to understand, okay, this market component of whenever we draw these lines and things like that, they actually have to have meaning. Okay, so does everybody understand so far? Okay, you can type yes in the chat, you can say yes, whatever it is. Does everybody understand why profit taking happens and the market structures? Okay, I don't want to get anybody lost here before we just keep going.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody else got any questions that you guys are not understanding? Okay, so we're gonna keep going here. Okay, so
Right. Sorry.
yes,
What's the difference between chop and accumulation?
can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Chop and accumulation differences.
Chop. Okay.
Accumulation, right?
So once again, chop is pretty much the same thing as accumulation, right? But once again, the market goes like this. The market goes like this. Market goes up. Market goes sideways, and then market comes back down. Just because it's chopping here, okay, it does not make it accumulation. Just because it's chopping here does not make it an accumulation, right? Are you understanding that? It has to chop here or it has to chop here. But this middle part is where we have most of our alpha. Okay? Alpha just means profits. This is where we're going to make a lot of money. We're not really going to make money down here. We're not really going to make money down here. Okay? Most of our money is going to come somewhere in the middle. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Okay, so now let's talk about what Praveen was asking about. Praveen was asking, okay, these pullbacks. These pullbacks, how do we know that the market is not going to keep going lower? Okay, and for that, we have this tool called a trend line. Okay, this right here is called a trend line. Okay, so forget what you learned about support and resistance, just focus on a trend line. Okay, for a trend line to be valid, okay, we need 3 touches minimum. Okay, just like our support resistance and stuff like that, which you guys will learn Monday, we need 3 touches for us to validate this. Okay, so whenever we do something like this, we usually do a trend line on a higher time frame. Okay, I'm going to show you guys Amazon as a first example. Okay, if we get rid of this and we're on the 4-hour time frame, we're not going to go to the daily. Okay, what's one thing that we notice? We notice, okay, what is market structure doing? It's making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so this one first thing we're going to say in our head is, okay, this is at a uptrend. Okay, anytime market is trending, we usually will be able to find a trend line. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click the trend line tool. If you go over here on your left, your trend line tool will be the first box or second box, sorry, on your left hand side. Okay, you can start it and then it's going to come over here on TradingView. We're going to select the trend line and we are going to pick a point, okay? Your point can be down here, your point can be over here, your point can be over here. It doesn't matter because I will show you why, but trend lines will auto balance themselves. Okay, what I mean by this is, okay, let's just say I'm new to trend lines. Let's say I make a trend line here. Okay, is this a valid trend line? Yes, it is. Okay, it doesn't look right, but it is still valid. Why? Because we have one touch here, we have another touch here, we have another touch here, we have another touch here. There's 4 touches. Okay, and then if you want to add this as well, there's actually 6 touches. Okay, so technically this is a trend line. But the rule of thumb is you want to go to the last low. Okay, so you guys see here, this is our low. Okay, this is our high. So we have this box that we went over yesterday. We have this box. Okay, inside of this box, we are going to identify whatever the lowest point is. Okay, this is the lowest point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm slowly going to go up with my trend line and I'm just going to keep going. Okay, can this be a trend line? 1 touch here, 2 touch here. Nope, it cannot. Why? Because it's not touching enough. Okay, then what am I going to do? I'm not going to move this bottom point. You only move this top point. Okay, I'm going to go back on this top point and I'm going to keep sliding this up. Okay, can this be my trend line? Yes. Why can this be my trend line? Because once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches. Okay, so now I have my trend line drawn. Okay.
Prasant, I have one
Yes,
question. It doesn't matter if it's only touch the week.
it does not matter.
Thank you.
Okay, but it needs to touch multiple times. Now, why are we drawing a trend line in the first place? Right? Why? Why are we even learning about the different stages? Why? Okay, because once you start trading, what's going to happen is if the market is going up, okay, if a market is at a uptrend and you try to short the market, okay, short or play puts, okay, your risk reward is going to get screwed up or you're going to end up losing money because you are fighting the trend, okay? Here's a saying in trading. The trend is your friend. Okay, this is a saying in trading that you should always be following. The trend is your friend. Okay, so on a bigger time frame, okay, we've established a trend line once again. I'm showing you guys. Okay, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Why do I say that? Because we can add another trend line. Okay, this is called just a trend line. Okay, now I'm going to show you something called a channel. Okay, this is called a channel. Okay, what's the biggest difference you see between these two is this has 2 lines. Okay, this has only 1. Okay, so now what we can do is, okay, we've established a trend line. Now, I really, really want to find, and we've also established that market is making higher highs and higher lows. So we know that we're at uptrend. Usually when there is a uptrend or a downtrend, we will usually have a channel. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Now I'm going to go to my channel tool. I'm going to click on my channel tool. It's called the parallel channel, and I'm going to do the same exact trend line that I just drew. Okay, I just clicked it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up with this next one, and I'm going to try to get as many touches as I can again. I'm going to start off wide, and then I'm going to slowly close back in. Okay, can this be a trend line? No, because we only have a touch up here. Okay, can this be a trend line? 1, 2, but I feel like I can get more touches over here. Okay, can this be a trend line? Yes. Okay, now what's one thing we notice about this trend line? Price broke below here, price broke above here. Okay, once again, what's one thing we know about the market? Okay, people are sloppy. Okay, people are very idiotic, people are very sloppy, and that's why we get these prices to break above and below. Okay, which is completely normal once again, because remember, these are humans trading. Okay, but we've identified here that this is a trend line because you can see how price is kind of bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, we now 100% know, okay, this is a uptrend. Okay, we've identified it and we for sure know this is an uptrend. Okay, so now let's do some practices. Okay, somebody give me a ticker. Pick something, anything.
Like do Tesla, like
Tesla. Oops, can't do Tesla because you already saw my trend line. Pick something else.
Wood.
Somebody really loves hood here. Okay, let's do hood. Okay. I'm going to draw a trend line and you guys tell me if it's right or wrong. Okay. How is this trend line? Right or wrong? Somebody say that hasn't spoken already.
It's right
Why is it right?
because it does the 4 spots.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 there. So 5. Okay. But let me ask you this. Last time, my trend line was at the bottom, right? Now I have a trend line at the top. Why did I make this trend line up here? Can somebody explain that to me?
Does it have to do with the downtrend?
Yes. So downtrend equals trend line on top. Okay, so if we're making a downtrend, once again, we're making lower lows and lower highs, okay, which we can identify by looking at this. Okay, it's not the cleanest, but that's okay. Okay, then we can identify, okay, this is at a downtrend. I've just added my trend line, which once again, I can validate this. I can move this however I want. Once I find a pivot point, I can move this like this. I can move this like this, but my ultimate goal is how many touches can I get the most? Okay, and for us, that's this right here. Now, once again, I'm going to go back to saying why is a trend line important in the first place? Okay, look how big price jumped here. Okay, don't you want to buy over here and sell up here, right? Buy low, sell high sounds pretty easy. Okay, but if I just give you candlesticks like we went over the other day, okay, this candlestick doesn't tell you anything. This red candlestick does not tell you jack. Okay, it has a wick at the top, it has a wick at the bottom. We can't really do anything. And if you look here, volume seems to be dying. Okay, but then we add in one trend line. That's all it takes is we add in one trend line. And now all of a sudden, we have a level that can break, and now we have price that can go higher. Okay, that's the power of you knowing more in the market. We just took something that didn't really have a setup that we just applied what we knew yesterday. Now we apply what we know today. Now we have a setup. Now the second question. Okay, whoever wants to explain this to me. What is this phase right here? Can somebody tell me? Okay, what phase is this?
Choppy.
Okay, it's choppy, but what's this phase called right here?
Distribution.
that's accumulate.
Okay.
Yeah, accumulation.
Communicate, but I want one answer. What is this right here?
Accumulation.
Okay, good. Okay, so this becomes accumulation. Once again, I might have messed up the spelling, but this is accumulation, right? How do we identify that? Because this high didn't get taken out over here, okay, and we're just kind of chopping. Okay, it's not the best chop, but once again, we're still chopping. Okay, then we get this right here. What is this phase called whenever the market pushes up?
Uptrend.
Okay, uptrend.
Not uptrend, but
Okay, and then we get this phase right here. Okay, what is this called again?
distribution.
Distribution.
Okay, so
Downtrend.
okay, so we have distribution. Okay, well, we can't have downtrend until we have distribution. Okay, but then look what happens here again, right? Then we have something that doesn't follow. Remember, this is supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, notice how it's not perfect. Okay, what I'm trying to show you is that the market is there to trick you. This is the reason why you cannot just apply one form of this and think you're going to be a profitable trader. Okay, this is what makes trading so difficult, is even if you know candlesticks that we learned yesterday, even if you know the market cycle that we learned today. Okay, for swing trading, yes, you might get lucky, but if you're day trading this and you try to apply what you just learned now, it's not enough. Okay, we have to look for other tools. Okay, and that's where trend lines come in. Okay, let's look at another stock. Somebody pick something, anything.
Food.
Apple.
Somebody said Apple. Great choice. Oops, we have a trend line. Pick something else.
Food.
Pick something that we usually don't look at.
NVIDIA, bro.
We always trade Nvidia. Something else.
ARM.
Over.
To Microsoft, like we haven't.
Okay, Google. Actually, let's do Microsoft. I don't want something. Okay, boom. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Okay, and then we'll take a look at PLTR next. Okay, let's take a look at this. Can we draw a trend line? That's the biggest question we have to ask ourselves. Okay, can we draw a trend line? Okay, we have this pivot up here. I'm going to start by drawing this. Okay, this is not my final trend line. This is just how I'm starting off. You guys see how slanted this is and how we're missing all of these? Just by looking at this, you should be like, okay, I'm missing something here. It doesn't look right. Okay, but we've established that, okay, we also have a pivot point up here. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to take the top pivot point. I'm going to move it down to the last low, which is down here. Okay, can this be a channel? Okay, can this be a trend line? Technically, it can. Okay, but can I get even better by bringing it down here? Okay, I don't know about you guys, but somebody was asking about this earlier. Is I really like to see nice rejection. Okay, and that's what I'm seeing here. Okay, now we have to validate this by saying, okay, can I draw a channel here? You guys see how we just got a channel now? Okay, when I get rid of this and we put this back on here, okay, channel doesn't look too bad, but why would I make a channel here when I can make it just a little bit tighter and get even more touches? Okay, we were missing these touches if I don't make the channel tighter. So now, if you're trading Microsoft, now you have a setup. Okay, market was trending down. But now market has a possibility to start trending up because it broke market structure. Okay, this is why market structure is so important. Okay, because now we were at a downwards trend. Now we're picking back up, and now we might be going at an upwards trend. Now, once again, the bigger the time frame, the easier it's going to be for you to find these setups. The smaller we get, the harder it's going to be. Okay, any questions there? Okay, somebody said PLTR. Let's go and draw a trend line on PLTR. Okay, we're going to zoom out a little bit more. Okay, we have this. Okay, if you don't like that, okay, let's do this right here. Okay, it's not really slanted. That's almost making it level. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. Now I'm going to go to my channels tool. Okay, can I validate this? No, not really. It's too choppy. Okay, can I move this around? Look. Now I might have something. Okay, now I'm just a little bit more interested. But now what happens if I can make this even tighter? Right? Still, it doesn't look good. You guys see how choppy it is? Okay, I'm gonna go back up here. Okay. And what I'm trying to show you guys here is you have to play around and move this thing. Okay, it's a shape. You're gonna have to move it around until you find something that looks right. Okay. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be biased and say, oh wow, this thing's going on an upwards trend. I'm gonna make this look like this. Okay, that doesn't mean you're right. I also can't just sit here and say, okay, well, it's coming down. I'm going to make it look like this. Okay, because technically now we do have a channel, but guess what? Down here, we're not touching more times. Okay, I have to do something with this. Can I make this tighter? Okay. Okay, but you have to play around with this and you have to be moving this until something makes sense. For this example, this doesn't make sense to me. Okay, the only thing that makes logical sense to me is this right here. But a lot of candlesticks, right? We went over candlesticks yesterday. What do you see here? A lot of chop. Nothing really happening. Okay, it looks like some of these candlesticks gapped up and gapped down. I'm not seeing anything. There's a lot of wicks happening. Okay, but we're not seeing consistent. What I want to see is I want to see either something that looks like this or something that looks like this. Okay, I don't want to see price going up, failing, coming back down, going up, coming back. Like, just look at this. This looks like a mess. Okay, that's not something I want to watch. That's not something I'm even interested in trading. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, somebody give me another ticker. Okay, and we're gonna look into something else now.
Do like TKO.
TKO.
Mm-hmm.
TKO. Never heard about this. Great.
That's wrestling.
Okay,
Wrestling
yeah.
UFC.
Can you pick something else? I just want something that doesn't have this right here. A stock that's pretty liquid, please.
MSDR.
MNDY.
MNDY. Okay. For some reason, your guys' stock selection sucks today, so I'm gonna pick you guys' stock. Okay. So now let's look at how can we apply this to our trading. Okay. What's one thing we can identify the first thing off the bat? Okay. Uptrend. Okay, we've gotten that. Okay. What time frame are we on? We're on the 4-hour. Okay. Can we draw a trend line? The answer is yes, we can. Okay. Can we draw a channel? Okay, I'm gonna start this channel up here. Okay. Can we validate this? Okay. Do I want this here? Okay. Am I gonna get more touches if I put it down here and drag it back up like this? Am I gonna get more touches this way? Or am I going to get more touches this way? Right? Okay. This looks like a good channel to me. Okay. But now what we have to do is this becomes a channel. Okay. Now we have to add multiple time frame biased into this. What I mean by that is now we're on the 4-hour. Okay. Anybody can trade the 4-hour, right? You can swing it, you can do whatever, but 4-hour isn't too hard to predict. Okay. Now let's go to the 1-hour. Okay. Now we have something we can kind of work with here. Okay. Because we can actually end up playing this thing from down here back up to here. We can end up playing this back up here, back down. Okay. This is how you are going to learn how to swing trade. Okay. Is by using the 1-hour and the 4-hour. Okay. You can actually swing trade very effectively long as there is no news. Okay. Just by using trend lines and channels. Okay. And let's kind of take a look at an example here. We're going to start with the 4-hour again. Okay. I'm going to turn off my screen. I'm going to share it again, and we're going to go through this together. Okay, one sec here. Okay. Are you guys ready? Just like yesterday's practice. Okay, we're going to add a layer of practice here. Okay, you guys ready? So this is the 4-hour time frame on Google. Okay, you can't cheat because I went back in time when you don't even know. Okay, so let's kind of take a look and let's go ahead and analyze this. Okay, what is the trend? That's the first thing we have to identify as a trader. Okay, what is the trend? Can somebody tell me?
Down.
Somebody, okay, somebody said down. Okay, does somebody agree? Does anybody disagree?
Agree.
Okay, so you guys agree that this is a downtrend. Okay, why is it a downtrend?
Lower lows, lower highs.
Okay, lower low, lower high. Okay, can we add? Do you think we can add a channel here?
Yes.
Okay, so you think we can add a channel. Okay, let's just do a trend line to make it easy. Okay, we're going to get our point. We're going to drag this down. Okay, now to validate this, we're going to see if this thing, if we can move it anywhere else. Can we move it here? I really like it over here. Why? Because we're getting the most touches once again. Okay, this might sound tedious, but I'm going to show you guys why. Okay, so now we've established that we're at a downtrend, correct? Now let's kind of do a simulation. Okay, let's do a simulation. Okay, can you make any other trend line? Somebody tell me, can you make any other trend line?
Yes,
As
we
of
can,
now,
but
no.
we will not have much touches.
I can't hear. Can somebody?
We can make the trend another trend line, but we can't make any more touches, like only 2 touches from the top to that top.
Okay,
It's
so
still a downtrend.
okay, so I want you to tell me to stop. Okay, Kinadidi, I want you to tell me to stop. Are you talking about up here?
Yes.
Okay, so you think we can make a trend line like this?
Till it doesn't make sense
It
because
doesn't.
it
Okay,
has
so
like just 2 touches.
okay, so once again, in case anybody doesn't understand, she doesn't like the trend line because it only has 2 touches. Okay, so great reason, by the way. Okay, any other trend line we can make? Can somebody just tell me yes or no? Kinadidi, I don't want you two to answer. I want somebody that hasn't spoke yet to answer. Can we make any other trend line?
We
No,
can
you
make a
can't.
upward shoot
Okay, where do you want me to start this trend line at?
from the lower low.
From here?
Yep.
Okay, and then tell me when to stop.
And upward, yeah. Keep
Right
goes
here?
on. Keep
You
goes.
keep going?
Keep goes. Yep.
Okay, so now let's take a look at what just happened. Okay, Hina Didi took a look at this. She said, okay, there's no trend line there, which I 100% agree. Then somebody had the eye and they said, okay, now market is starting to make higher highs, higher lows. Okay, then they added this trend line right here. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, can I add another trend line or can I fix my trend line?
You can move a little bit down that one, which is the upward.
Okay, which one? Uh, Here, I'm
Up.
gonna change these colors. Okay, which one? Red,
Red one.
red. Okay, where can I move this now?
Going a little bit down.
Okay, right here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and fix this just a little bit, just so it looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, so now I want you guys to take a look at something. Okay, we made an X. Okay, X marks the spot. You know what we're gonna do? This first trend line we're gonna go ahead and get rid of. The reason we're getting rid of it is because in our head we've established that market is now making higher highs and higher lows. Does everybody agree? Hello? Do you guys agree or not?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, you guys agree. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this now. Okay, once you delete a trend line, we're not putting it back on. So I really hope you guys are right. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, can we make a channel? That's my next question to you. Can we make a channel?
Yes.
Okay, we can make a channel. let's go ahead and try to make a channel. Here's our channel tool. We're going to take it from this low. Somebody said like this. Okay, tell me to stop. Okay, I'm going to just slowly go up. Just tell me to stop.
Come down.
Here?
Yep.
Okay. So we've established another trend line. Okay, so now we have two trend lines. What does this make? This makes a channel. Okay, here's one thing that you guys are not seeing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Frog, you should have kept me told me to keep going. So let's kind of extend this. Now, once again, I could be wrong as well. Let's extend this and see
No,
if
I did it on purpose here.
Yep. So boom. Okay. So you guys need to call me out because that wasn't right. Okay. Once again, Prog did that on purpose to kind of show you guys. But once again, now we've established a channel. Okay. Why does this matter? Because when the market is going down, okay, every time the market goes up, once again, I'm going to draw this for you guys. Okay. Every time market goes like this, okay, we want to play or we want to short this right here back down. Okay? Hypothetically, when you are in a downward trend, you can still make money either shorting a stock or by playing puts. Okay? But for you to get in on a good price on puts, you have to get in at a high and sell at the low. Okay? For you to get in on a stock, whenever you're buying calls or buying shares, you have to get in down here and you have to sell when it's higher. Okay, so the reason this is important is because you have to know which way market is trending generally. Okay, so now we've established that we have a channel. Okay, now we're going to play another game. Okay, people that haven't spoken yet, I want you to talk. I want you to tell me whenever you think is a good time to buy on a pullback. I want you to say stop, tell me to stop. Okay, and then say either buy or sell. Okay, sell means puts, buy means calls. Okay, I'm going to go here every candle, one candle at a time. Anything? Okay. And I want you to apply candlestick logic that we learned yesterday. Okay. So everything you learned with candlesticks, I want you to add candlesticks with a trend line or a channel now. Okay. And I want you to tell me either long or short. Okay. And somebody has to participate for this to work. Okay. Just yell stop. I'll stop. And then you tell me why you want to get in.
Short.
Okay. You want to short here. Okay. Tell me
Cross-
why.
We cross the trend line that we draw.
Okay. It crossed the trend line. Okay. So he wants to short here. So let's go ahead and sell here. We're going to do 100 shares for one contract. Okay. So we've entered a short. Okay. We're not going to do our stop loss or anything like that. Let's keep going. Okay. So we would probably be out of this position by now. Right? But we have to kind of take a look at, okay, what happened here? Okay. He says short on this trend line. Okay. That's completely fine. Okay. This is a great example of why we draw trend lines and we need to understand market structure. Okay. What is market doing now? We're at a uptrend. Okay. That means that we're making higher highs, higher lows. Okay. Bienday, until this last low breaks, we're still at a uptrend. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so until if this candle closed below here, then we could keep playing it down. But just because a candle closes below, we cannot short. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Do you guys understand why he lost money there? Because we were at a downward trend, but now we're at a uptrend. Okay, this is why you need to understand trend lines and you need to understand the trend of the market and market structure so that you don't make this mistake of whenever we're at an uptrend, you're looking to buy the dip, you're not looking to sell the dip. Okay, so let's keep going. Somebody else that hasn't participated, I want you to participate and either tell me buy or sell whenever you're ready. Any candle. You can say it right now or you can wait. It's up to you. Okay, but I want you to apply candlestick logic that we learned yesterday, and I want you to apply whatever you're learning today.
Now we go for long here
Okay, you want to go for longs. Okay, 100 shares you want to buy. Okay, let's buy. Okay, now can you tell me why did you want to go long on this candle? And why did you want to take this trade here?
because that doesn't have the week, one reason, and within our trend line,
Okay.
it's just
So we're re-entering the trend line, okay?
and that's a solid candle that doesn't
Okay.
have a week.
And we have a good candle. Okay. Whoever said broke previous high, this is our previous high. Okay. It has not broken yet. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's see if he's right. Okay. Once again, okay, he ended up technically here, he would have probably lost money, right? Why? Okay. He had two good confirmations. Okay. Confirmations, by the way, in case you don't know, confirmation just means reasons to take the trade. He had two good reasons to take the trade, but for a A+ setup, okay, we want at least 3 confirmations. And whoever said broke previous high, okay, this is our previous high. Okay, did we break that on this candle? We did not break that. Okay, which means that we can chop here until we break this high, and then we will go back up. Okay, so let's keep going. Once again, you can play along. You can say, you know, long, short, whatever you guys want to say. Okay, I'm just drawing. This is just a zone. Don't think about it as a support resistance, supply demand, nothing. Just play candlesticks and this zone that we made. Another question for you guys. Can we remake this channel? Okay, can we remake this channel?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try to remake this channel. Okay. Okay, do you guys want to stay with this or do you guys want to go back to this? 1 or 2?
2.
1 or 2?
2.
2.
There's 20 of you guys here. I need you guys to say something. More of you guys. 1 or 2? This is 1. This is 2.
2.
2? Okay, so we're going to stick with number 2, which is this right here. Okay. Notice how we rebalanced our trend line. Okay, rebalance meaning that we took the price action that's new and we redid our trend line based off of that. Okay, what's one thing that stays the same? That this is still our high. Okay, let's keep going.
Short.
Okay, so you want to short here. Whoever just said that. Okay, let's go ahead and short. Okay, I'm going to balance out this again. I'm going to just keep drawing it. Okay, once again, you said short, we ended up losing money. Why? Because we're at a uptrend. Okay, you have to get out of the habit of trying to play the drop. Okay, we're at a uptrend. You're looking to buy pullbacks. Okay, once again, we're looking to buy pullbacks. These are our pullbacks. Okay, these are our pullbacks. We're not looking for any shorts in this trend line. I don't care if, okay, do you want to catch this move or do you want to catch this move? Okay, do you want to catch number 1 or number 2? I'm sure more of you guys want to catch number 2. Right? And the reason I didn't take profit down here was because our target on a trend line is always the next trend line. Okay, what that means is if we short here, we want it to come all the way down to here. If we long here, we want it to go all the way up to here. Okay, good job rebalancing the trend line. Okay, but stop shorting. Look, every time we're shorting, we're losing money. Okay, stop shorting the trend line. Okay, let's keep going.
I have one question. We can read it off that the left side of trend line and make it more vertical.
Can you repeat that again?
Can we take it off from the left side and make it more vertical or not?
Like this?
No, go a little bit down way. No, not that way, the shorter way.
This way?
Yeah, start from there and then make it a more vertical.
Like this? Or like this?
No, just read it off from the left side and make it shorter.
Oh, make it shorter. Okay, like this.
Yeah, we can do that one.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Okay, but what I usually like to follow is these become my pillars, and I will draw a trend line based off of these. So usually once I build these two, I will not move those two. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if anybody learned something new today. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I'm going to extend this trend line again. Okay,
Long.
long?
Yep.
Okay, give me a reason why.
Check the support of the trend line.
Okay, it's at the support of the trend line.
Lower
Okay.
low.
Okay, what about candlestick wise? Anything? Anything that made you want to get in here and not wait? I'm just asking. I'm just curious on why you want to go long here. Is it just because of trend line, or is you're looking at something else?
Yeah, the trend, the long
For
one.
confirmation, 1 hour time frame. Yeah. Green.
So we're not going to go down in time frame for this exercise. Okay. Normally you would, but for this exercise, we're not going to. Okay. So let's keep going.
There you
Okay. Great play. Okay. He literally just saved all your accounts by longing at the bottom. Okay. Why? Okay, once again, because we're at the bottom of the trend line, price is supposedly supposed to go back up here. Okay, the reason I didn't sell it here is because our target is the trend line. Okay, you guys see how that works? Okay, now once again, this is a very simple example, but when you're swing trading or even day trading, you see why these trend lines become so important. Okay, and once again, two trend lines, this channel now. Okay, beep, 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 beep. Okay, now once you get pretty good, you can actually start shorting, but we're not looking into that right now. We're trying to get out of the habit of shorting a uptrend. Okay, because if you fight against this trend, you will lose money. I will tell you that. Okay, now some of you guys are saying go to the 1 hour. Yes, you're right. If you're trading on the 4 hour, you should go to 1 hour for a better confirmation candle. Could he have gotten better entry? Maybe. Okay, he could have gotten just a little bit better of an entry. But for the most part, his trade was barely red and it ended up going green. Okay, so we're going to close out of this position. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let me know. Okay, if you guys want to rebalance, say rebalance. If you guys want to keep going, we can keep going. Okay, but just scream it out. Tell me to stop, tell me to buy, tell me to sell, tell me to rebalance. That's up to you guys.
Rebalance.
Rebalance. Okay, so let's go ahead and rebalance here. Okay, notice I'm starting from the top and then I'm trying this trend line. Okay, can we make this tighter? Technically, we can. Okay, are we going to give more touches here or are we going to give more touches here? We're going to give more touches here. Okay, so I just made the trend line a little bit tighter now. Okay, I'm going to extend this all the way out just so you guys can see. Candles might get a little bit finicky, but let's stay focused here. Okay, by the way, Market structure is the same, yes? We're still making higher highs?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, once again, you guys can say rebalance, say long, say short, that's up to you. Okay, so we're at the current day. Okay, so we're all the way up until today. But you guys see how just by following that trend, you would have been able to get into that trade. You would be in down here if you just had a trend line, right? Instead of trying to play it up here. Okay, imagine you ended up swinging this position. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's do one more together.
Prashant, I had a question.
Yes.
Can we do the same thing, but just for one example, the same chart for 1 hour, like for day trade? This was for swing, right?
Right.
Because 4 hours per swing.
We can, but the amount of data we have, Parag, it's super, like, you won't be able to see the candlesticks. That's the only problem.
Oh, okay. I get it. No
Yeah.
worries.
That's why I'm on the 4 hour, by the way. Okay. Somebody give me another ticker that you guys want to look at.
Meta.
Okay. Whoever said Meta. Okay, let's go to Meta. Okay, here we go. We have Meta. Okay, for overall, somebody tell me what's going on with this chart. Completely start from the basics. Tell me what's going on with this chart. Try to explain it to me.
Uptrend, I guess.
Okay. Uptrend. Okay. Anything else?
Short term downtrend, but long term uptrend.
Okay, so the reason he's saying that, just for anyone that doesn't understand, is overall we're at a uptrend, but short term, just for now, he thinks we're at a downtrend. Okay, my next question to you, can we draw a trend line?
Yes.
Okay, where should we draw it from? Just say any of these numbers at the bottom here, and I'll kind of start from there.
19.
Where?
19. You see the 19?
Over here?
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, can we validate this trend line?
What do you mean validate?
Validate meaning, is this a trend line or not?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, we need more touches, I think.
Okay, so we need more touch at the top. So this is
Yeah.
not validated. Okay, so should we keep this or get rid of it?
Fix the top, I think.
So, okay, what do you want me to do? You want me to drag this down? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, so move it down, move it down. Yeah, right there.
Okay,
Move
so
it up.
okay, so you want me to move this up?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, I don't like this. Okay,
Yeah, but
and
it's
the
not
reason,
touching the bottom either.
yeah, the reason I really don't like this is we're not getting a lot of consistent touches. Okay, we're not getting a lot of consistent touches. This is too much area above, and this is way too much price action that got to float by itself. Okay,
In my opinion, you can start a draw from 13.
okay, 13 over here.
No, next 13.
Next 13 over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think I can draw a trend line like this?
Yes.
Okay, better. Okay, better because we're getting touches up here and we have a lot of touches down here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and call this a trend line. Okay, once again, let's play the same game. Okay, you guys tell me. Okay, you can either say add trend line, rebalance. You guys can say buy or sell.
Buy.
Buy. Somebody said buy.
Prashant, you want to color the candles possible so they have a better idea?
Here we go. Better?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, somebody said buy. Okay. Okay. We're going to get out of this position. Okay. The reason we're going to get out of here is because this was our last low We ended up breaking that low. Okay. So
Okay.
what do you guys
Can
want to
we
do now?
rebalance the channel?
Okay. Well, how do you want me to rebalance it?
It's supposed to be downtrend now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I really agree. I really like how you guys are thinking. Okay. Okay. Are you guys happy with this?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Okay. I like it as well. Let's keep going. Okay. Once again, you can say long, short, whatever you guys want.
Short.
Or
Who just said short?
Short, yeah, I said
Okay.
that.
Somebody just said short. Okay. Let's short.
Nice.
Okay. Boom. Okay. Now you guys are getting the hang
But
of it. Yes.
But that's only one confirmation, right? Because
Right.
the
Right.
candle is
But
really green.
right. But right now, more than confirmation, right? Because that's something we get into as we get into trading.
Okay, okay.
Because if we were looking for confirmation, we would go to the 1 hour and the 4 hour. But once again, this is our fourth or fifth class. The biggest thing I'm trying to make you guys understand is why market structure is so important. Okay, so Pravinday, great call out, but we're trying to focus on the actual, lower highs, lower lows, things like that, if that makes sense.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so once again, so whoever said short right here, amazing play. Okay, reason is because you established here we had higher highs, we had higher lows. Now somebody here said, okay, trend shifted. They said rebalance, great call out, and then you guys were waiting patiently, okay, for this top of the channel to hit, and then we played it right back down again. Okay, so if you had 100 shares, you would have made a good, money in a few days. Okay, let's keep going. You guys can say once again the same things again. Let's keep going.
Long,
Long.
yeah.
Somebody said long. Actually, multiple people said long. Okay, why long here?
It's at the bottom of the trend line.
Okay,
Oh.
it's at the bottom of the trend line.
I don't like to go for a long because it's a downtrend.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So whoever just said that, I agree with you more. Okay, okay. Can you still make money if this thing goes back up? Yes, you can. Okay, but you're already risking this thing dropping even more because we're already at a downtrend. Okay, so it's a really little bit of more riskier play, but let's see how it works out. Okay, so it ended up working out. Okay, not bad. But for the most part, at least for right now, okay, until you guys get more tools in your arsenal, I would highly recommend staying away from these. And remember, yesterday we learned about candlesticks, right? We learned about candlesticks, and I showed you guys this right here. Okay, when we add this, okay, the way we got this, by the way, is if we look here, I'm gonna zoom in even more, we see this candle right here, okay, that wicked up. Then we see another candle that used that same wick as a support level, okay, and then we pushed up, we came back down, and then you see right here how we use that same exact zone that we made from the candle to kind of come right back down. Okay, this is where the thing that I did today comes in. We take a trend line and we draw it from the low of a candle up like this. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this again. We're going to draw it from this candlestick. I'm going to draw it like this. You guys see how we're going up just like a normal trend line, and then we're breaking back down. We're going back up, we're breaking back down. Okay, we're going slowly back up, we're breaking back down. Do you guys see that structure?
Yes.
Okay, so what that looks like, okay, is if a stock is going like this, okay, we will usually see a stock first go like this, okay? But once that last higher low breaks, okay, now we have a thing called market shift, right? The market just starts shifting and it starts going in the opposite way, okay? These are going to be your pivot points, okay? Eventually, this trend line has to reverse. Doesn't mean it's going to right away, but the way we know it's not going to reverse is if we consistently keep getting these small trend lines to break, okay? So if we look here, we have another trend line. Do you guys see this right here? We have another trend line, okay? Because we're slowly going back up again. Do you guys see that? Okay, so now when we go to the next candle, okay, and we see, okay, now it's below the trend line, okay? Do you guys see how right there, once it breaks below the trend line, it comes back down? That means that this trend line is still valid and we can continue to use it. Okay, so remember, a market is not just going to sell off straight down. Unless it's COVID or something crazy happens, okay, market is not going to sell straight down. Market has a structure of going down. Some buyers step in, those buyers get wiped out again. Some buyers step in, those buyers get wiped out again. Some buyers step in, they get wiped out again. Okay, it's this cycle because you know what these people are trying to do? They're trying to bottom tick the market. Okay, bottom tick. Okay. What bottom ticking means is they think that this is going to be the low and then the market's going to go back up. They think this is going to be the low. They think market's going to go back up. Well, it's not. Okay. So that's what we're taking advantage of in this example.
Question.
Yes.
So generally not betting against the trend, is that a well-established practice
Yes.
for beginners?
Extremely. Okay. We always say the trend is your friend. Okay. We never want, and that's the reason I kind of said, okay, I personally wouldn't want to long here, especially me starting out as a new trader. I don't want to long or buy shares here. I would rather be patient, wait for this, because think about it this way. If this rejected once, twice, three times, it's probably going to reject again. And with us making lower lows and lower highs, that just, I have a little bit more than a 50% edge now. Right? Because once again, the same thing is happening at the bottom, but because we're at a downwards trend, price has a higher chance of dropping than going back up. Okay? And if, by the way, if you try to get this bottom and it does go back up, you're essentially going against the trend, which I really, really don't recommend. Okay?
Prashant, question.
Yes.
Last time we clearly see that we need to shift the channel when we go to the upward and then downward. But in this case, at the end, we already see there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 days data, but it's still we are not, why we are not shifting upward.
Why we're not shifting upwards. Okay?
Yeah, on
So
the 11th.
on the 11th here.
Yeah. From
Okay.
there, it's already 4 or 5 days data because you are playing with
Right,
full
right, right.
with
Okay, so in case anybody doesn't understand, what he's saying is right here, why didn't we break out? Okay? Let's talk about candlesticks. Let's take a step back from market essentials and let's look at candlesticks. Okay? Like, what do these candlesticks tell you? Okay, what's the story that these candlesticks tell you? Okay? Do you want to tell me what's the story right here?
That's a lot of weak and small volume.
Okay, there you go. There's your answer, okay? Small volume, lots of wicks. Okay, both of these mean what? Either a lot of buyers are not present, okay, or they're selling pressure every time they push it back up. Okay, and with us being at a downward trend, we're on the winning side already because we've established that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Let's keep going.
Short.
Okay, somebody just said short. Okay, that would have worked out. I'm sorry, I kind of skipped ahead. Okay, now once again, do you guys see what I mean? Okay, there's always going to be this little thing, okay, this little mini trend line if you're playing the trend correctly. Okay, let's just keep going. I really want to keep going here because I think this is setting up nicely. Okay, anything you guys want to do?
Long.
Okay, somebody said long. Okay, why?
Uh, higher high. The trend is not touching the.
Okay, so now we kind of have to take a step back. Okay, we have to take a step back because something very interesting is happening. Okay, we have, okay, this is our last high, this is our last low. Okay, Praveen, I remember yesterday we drew these boxes. Okay, we're going to draw a box here. Okay, inside of this box, let's break down the price action. Okay, everything inside of this box, let's break down the price action. Okay, price pushes up, price comes down, price pushes up, price comes down. Okay, we're still at lower low, but then we have price starting to hold here. Okay, and he said long. I'm guessing he said long because he thinks this is going to break out and he thinks it's going to go back to this high. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, he was right.
Now we need to move the channel.
Okay, yes. So now we need to move the channel, but more importantly than that, we have to establish now that we're either one, in a chop, or two, okay, the trend is shifting. Okay, do not marry your trade. Okay, what that means is just because you have a channel does not mean it's going to keep giving you that channel. Okay, do you want to reshift this or do you want to get rid of this trend line? That's up to you guys. You guys let me know. Okay, what do you guys want to do with this trend line?
I
The
think
radar.
update it.
Update
Update the
it?
trend
Okay,
line.
how do you want me to make this trend line now?
Trend.
Okay, do you want uptrend, downtrend? Do you want me to, like, what do you want me to do?
Uptrend.
Okay, so you guys want me to make an uptrend. Okay, let's try to make an uptrend. Is this what you want?
Yes, later down in the
Okay,
top.
so
This
one thing I will tell you, we do not have enough info yet. Okay, and the way I can validate this is we don't have a lot of volume and we haven't made a couple levels yet. Now, yes, you could be right, but at this point in trading, we're gambling because you know what can happen? Market can come up to this again and we can sell off, or market can just bing bong, bing bong, bing bong in this zone right here. Okay, both of which we don't want. Okay, as a swing trader, this is kind of like your nightmare that Praveen Dai sees usually. Okay, so let's try to get a little bit more information. Okay, going back to this, what did I just say? Right? If you were to do anything in this middle and you didn't have, okay, and you didn't have this drawn, you would have gotten faked out. Okay, so now we have to take a step back and say, okay, what is market really doing? Okay, are we still at a downtrend? Yes, we're still at a downtrend. Okay, this high could not break. We're still technically at a downtrend. The way we validate this has to make a lower low. Okay, can we make a lower low? That's the next question. Okay, we've just made a lower low. Okay, so now I say, okay, I can add my trend line back. Okay, I'm going to start from here and we can play with this as we go. Okay, do you guys like this trend line or no?
No, you're missing the. Actually, that's fine.
Is this better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so he's saying this is better. Okay, now we're just to make sure we're going to check up here. Don't really like it. We're going to check over here. Don't really like it. What about over here? Okay, so I'm going to do right over here. Okay, so now we established we made a new lower low. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, just once again, we're back to our game. Okay, you guys let me know what you guys want to do.
uptrend. I mean, call.
Call. Okay, somebody said call. Okay, buying 100 here.
Short.
Okay, somebody just shit short. Okay,
Mm.
once again, we're at a downward trend.
Yep.
This will happen. Okay, we talked about this. This is inevitable. These are idiots that are trading the market. Okay, You have to get away from this. Okay, this is what we call noise in trading. Okay, it shouldn't even be there, but it is there, and that's fine. Okay, but once again, we're at a downward trend still. Okay, we just validated this because we said there's a lower low. Okay, this is why we don't try to fight the trend. Eventually, we might get a reversal. Okay, but for us to get a reversal, this high has to break or this high has to break, and then price has to start structuring like this. Okay, which it's not doing yet. Okay, so whoever said short, great job. Whoever said long, once again, get out of that process and that thought process of trying to catch the top or the bottom.
By your green candle, I am looking for confirmation for green candles. That's why.
Okay, the confirmation isn't enough because remember, this is 4 hours of data. This is 30 hours of data. What's no money? Yeah, I would rather trade off of 30 hours of data versus 4 hours of data. Okay, so let's keep going again. Okay. Once again, you guys have your options of whatever you guys want to do. Okay. Now what do we have here? Okay, because this is also going to happen. It's inevitable. It will happen sometime in your trading career. Okay. First thing we have to establish, this is our lower high. Okay, which means what? That we're still at a downtrend until that lower high gets broken.
Short.
Okay, somebody said short.
I'd wait.
Okay, do you guys want to short or wait?
I'll wait too.
Okay, so we're gonna
I
wait.
need more data. We have to update the trend line, I think.
Okay, you guys want me to update the trend line? Let me update that. Okay, now, okay, we have something interesting. We have data here, 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 but we don't have a trend line. It's below. Okay, this is when I would go and I would say, okay, can I make this bigger? Okay, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Can I make this bigger?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, we can. Okay, do we want number one or do we want number two?
Number
Two.
one.
Number one? Okay, we're gonna go with number one. Okay, so it was a very smart decision saying short, but once again, Prabindai, remember this imbalance that we talked about? Okay, so that would have been an imbalance play. Once again, we're not gonna go too deep into those more advanced terms yet, but that would have been a play. Okay, but you guys are seeing how well this works, right? You find the trend. Okay. Now, yes, you are going to be stuck holding these trades sometimes for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay. That's going to happen. Okay. It's swing trading. So whenever you buy contracts or even you buy shares, at least buy a week or 2 weeks extra. Okay. But once again, we're not going to go too much into buying and selling today. Okay. You guys tell me what you want to do. Just tell me to stop.
Short.
Okay. Somebody said short. Let's short. Okay. I'm also going to extend this trend line out again. Okay. Somebody said short. Okay. We ended up losing money. Okay. This is okay. Okay. This is okay because once again, he was playing the trend. Eventually, once again, in your trading career, this will happen. Okay. What do we call this in trading? Can somebody tell me? Whenever market is going one way and then it starts going the other way.
Reversal.
Yes. So this is a reversal. Okay. How do we know that a reversal is taking place? Okay, the first is going to be, it's going to make a bottom. Okay, so this is going to be called a bottom. Okay, second thing is the last high, okay, lower high is going to get taken out. Okay, That's going to it got taken out here, and then it got taken out here. Okay, so for us to start longing now, what do we have to do? Somebody tell me, what do we have to do for us to actually fully know that this is a trend shift?
Wait for a retest
Okay,
and
nope,
establish a trend.
nope. None of those advanced things.
Right.
Focus on just today. What do we have to do?
Price holding and
Okay, what do we have to do? Okay, what are we going over today? Okay, remember the X that we made earlier. You guys remember? We're back to where we started. Okay, just because a trend line one broke doesn't mean we can't make another trend line. Okay, so every time a trend line breaks, we should be able to make this X. Okay, so you guys see how it's a cycle? Okay, you draw a trend line, you play the trend line, it breaks, and then you draw another one. Okay, so now we're going to keep on playing with this one.
Bye.
Okay, somebody said bye.
Can you shift the channel?
Okay, so you guys want to redo the channel now?
Yeah, update the channel.
Okay, let's redo the channel. Okay. Okay. Now notice what I did. I completely took this bottom part out and I added this top part in. Okay. So I took my channel was down here. Now I moved it up here and I'm trying to make it make sense. Okay. So technically we're still in profit, but we haven't hit our target yet. Okay. Our target is kind of top of that channel. Okay. I'm going to draw this again.
Long.
Okay. We're just going to keep going here. Okay. So, okay, I'm just gonna close this trade just
It's
because.
chopping.
Okay. But look what we did. We had this before. Okay. What we did is we took it and we turned it into a whole different channel. Okay. Once again, we talked about this. X marks the spot. Okay. This is setting up now. Okay. Think about a mouse going through a tube. A mouse is not just gonna get out the tube, it's gonna go looking for more food. Okay. That's exactly what's happening here. We are the mouse, by the way. Okay. So now we start looking for another tube to feed on. Okay. Now, one thing that we should have done is, okay, we should have rebalanced the channel and made it a little bit tighter. Okay. The reason it wasn't hitting our target was because we didn't rebalance the channel. Okay. If we had rebalanced it, we would already been out of this trade. You guys see that? And things like that you cannot miss, especially when you're trading with live capital. Okay. But I just gave you guys a swing trade strategy that you can make good money on. Okay. You don't need anything else. Now, once again, risk management, things like that are going to come into play, but we just made a bunch of money. Okay. I don't know if we can check here. Trading panel. No, we can't. Okay. So if we go over this, okay, these are all the trades that we took. 4,000 loss, 5,000. So, okay, so we're at $1,000 profit. Okay, 3,800. 3,800 plus 4,000, that's 7,000. Minus what? 5,000, we're back at 2,000. Okay, then we're at what? Minus 2,000. Okay, then we're at plus 4,000. So we ended the day with $4,000 profit. Now, once again, this is paper trade. This is just an example. But look how well that would have worked out. Okay, even when you have some losing trades. And once again, that was some of you guys not following the channel. What if you shorted every pop? Okay, on a downtrend, okay, you want, so downtrend, okay, short the pop. Okay, uptrend, okay, buy the dip. Okay, does everybody understand that? So now comes tomorrow in the morning, you guys should be able to open up your watch list, go to your stocks and say, okay, there's a trend line. Okay, we don't need a channel every single time. And if I'm being honest, we don't really even need a channel here because why do I need a channel? I can just trade based off of this trend line right here. Okay, let's take a look at SPY. Actually, not SPY. Where was it? Amazon. Okay. This is the play I'm looking out for. Okay. The reason I didn't get into puts was because we're at a uptrend. I'm very hesitant to short this because the chances of us catching, okay, this reversal is going to be pretty low. We might not get it till it goes back up again. Okay. That's why I wouldn't take puts. So all of this should start making sense to you guys. Okay. That are in the EDU. All of this should start making sense and you should start saying, oh, that's why I didn't take the trade. Okay. If we look at Tesla, okay, I didn't take this right now. I'm not really trading Tesla, but look how simple of a setup this was that Satya took. You guys see that? We ended up calling this over here. Look where it's at now. Okay, what do you think is going to happen? It's either going to retrace or it's going to get lost for a little bit, but then it should retrace back. Okay, that's the bigger picture of why we use channels and trend lines. Okay, you don't need both of these, but if price is going up here, you should definitely have up here. If price is holding, you should have a trend line at the bottom. Okay, any questions before we go into our trade recap?
So we use the 1 hour or just the
4
4
hour.
hour?
For
Okay.
right now, use 4 hour. Once you get much more confident, you can go to the 1 hour. But the only problem with the 1 hour is you guys see how you have to zoom in to be able to see the candles. Okay. That's the only reason why we went on the one. But whenever we're looking for confirmation, we'll use the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Okay.
Okay.
But now I just showed you a strategy that you can use for swinging. Okay. Now let's do a recap of today's trades because I'm really not happy with SPY's trade. Okay. So we had a trade on SPY today. Okay. We ended up trying to take puts down here. I don't know where all my drawings went. Okay. We ended up trying to take puts. This was our risk reward. Okay. The thing I'm upset about with today's trade is that we held longer than our stop loss. Okay. Because I ended up, okay, this is my fault. I ended up getting too biased and saying, okay, Nvidia is not breaking. This thing has to come back down. Okay. I have to play and follow my rules. Now, this is the first time I broke my rules in the last 2 weeks, but still, not off to a good start. Even if this trade went green, I would be very upset. Okay, because I did not follow my trading plan. Okay, what was the other ticker that we traded? We traded AMD. Okay, here was AMD setup. Okay, so you guys see how we got these levels, normal support resistance levels. But then what ends up happening here is if you look, we get this move down. Then we get that box, that Prabindai that we went over yesterday. Okay, we have the top of the box that can't break, and then we have this bottom of the box. Okay, what ends up happening here is this is one of the most advantageous plays you can take because whenever price starts going sideways, your premiums start dropping in value and they find a area to hold. Okay, so if you got in on this trade, your premium was not too high, okay, and it was actually starting to come down a little just because price wasn't moving. Then we got this initial drop. Okay, and now comes in putting together everything that you guys learned today. Okay, does this make sense to everyone now after this lesson? Do you guys see this right here? You see how we're slowly going up and then we fall? Okay, we break that tiny little trend line. Look, check this out. Same thing. Do you guys see that? Okay. Then once again, we have to look at the structure even when you're trading on the 5 minute. Okay. Okay. We're making lower lows. We're making lower highs. Okay. Once again, these are upside down, but we're making lower lows. We're making lower highs. And then we come to this point right here where it looks like we could possibly reverse. Okay. And that's when you should have been completely out of your position. Now, truth be told, I ended up getting out. I believe I got out right here. We ended up getting out just because I had an appointment and also I honestly thought it was going to reverse back and go for this again. Okay. But looking at the bigger time frames again, okay, what is market structure doing? It's making lower highs and lower lows. You guys see this? Okay, when we go to the bigger chart, you guys see. Okay, so most of my plays this week has been put plays. I don't know if you guys realized. Okay, I try to short SPY. I've been trying to short everything because of this trend line that I drew. Okay, I'm confident that it's going to go back up and come right back down again. And where am I going to make more money? On the way down because we're at a downtrend. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so I hope these lessons and us being on VC, I hope you guys are able to add them together and say, okay, now I know why he shorted. Okay, I'm really upset about the SPY play, but besides that, for the last 2 weeks, I have no complaint. Ended up finishing the day at break even, $3 profit. That's pretty much break even with fees and everything. Not bad. This play, okay, that's the mistake we don't want to make again. Is okay, if it goes above our risk area and it closes, we want to be out of this. We don't want to hold and wait because once you start saying, okay, I think, okay, that's when you start losing money. Okay, any questions for today before we get off?
For that draw the channel line, do we need to consider the off-market data like after
Yes.
hours? Something?
Yes. I don't trade without, I will not trade without extended trading hours. I do not like this because I hate seeing these gaps. I would rather find these gaps myself. Okay. So for me, the more data I can get, the better. Once again, somebody like Milndai, he doesn't really care. He doesn't really mind. But for me, I really need to see pre-market because a lot of our plays, I'm sure you guys realize, we end up playing the pre-market low and the pre-market high. Okay, so for that and the way I trade, to me that's very important. But once again, everybody has mixed reviews on that. All right, this class will be uploaded to YouTube. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I won't see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys Monday. Okay, no class tomorrow. Kind of look back at these videos. They'll be uploaded to YouTube. Watch them. If you have any questions, let us know. And then hopefully, starting Monday, you guys are gonna have homework. If you guys don't do the homework, then you will not be able to get back in the classes. Okay, I'll see you guys.